Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing today? I'm doing quite well, actually. In fact, I'm doing better than quite well. I'm doing fantastic because I've got an awesome Company of Heroes game for you today. Great looking 1 versus 1 on the map of Langres. And you know me, I like to promote things. But honest to God, this is actually the kind of game that I love watching most. This is simply a game that Harlequin likes, but it also has all that other nice stuff like high levels of skill and strategy and blah, blah, blah and whatnot. And, you know, anyhow, so I'm having a good old time with that. And speaking of having a good old time, for those of you who are used to bumping into me in chat and stuff like that, I, much like in Dawn of War 2, before a game, you know, before casting a game, I like to sit around and just talk to people in chat. And I don't know why, but for Company of Heroes, I'm just not having any luck with the chat channels that I hang out in. I've been hanging out in the Game Replays channel, and people are just kind of weird. So anyhow, I went ahead and joined the Berlin channel because it had the most people in it, and everybody was speaking German, and as you all know very well, I don't speak German at all, so it's just gibberish to me. But I've just been hanging out in there instead, kind of looking for a home. So, with that being said, however, I don't know why that's relevant, but I thought it was funny. Let's go ahead and take a look around the map and get used to some of these players here and see what's up. So, in the northern side of the map, controlling the red pieces today. Oh, and these guys are just fantastic. We have Mr. KoreanArmy playing as the Americans today. We can see him just chilling out up here, and I'll go over both their stats in a sec here. On the southern side of the map, playing as the blue Wehrmacht, we've got Mr. BartonPL, and yeah, these guys are awesome. So BartonPL, we'll start with him since I already am here. He's currently ranked number 11th as a Wehrmacht player. He's at 152 wins, 22 losses, really great record there. And his opponent today, Mr. KoreanArmy, he is currently ranked 10 for the American ladder, 264 wins, 29 losses. That's a lot. I mean, the wins part, not the loss part. But these two guys are fantastic. So we get to see two Titans here just kind of bumping into each other on the ladder, having a great game. Let's go ahead and get this replay started here. So I'm just going to go ahead and, like I normally will, I'll just kind of zoom out here to the minimap because honestly, all this beginning cap stuff, you get a good idea of what's going on just by watching the minimap. Obviously, you see both of their starting units are just chilling here. One guy's building a barracks, the other guy's building a Wehrmacht quarters. No surprises there. And now we're going to see the first units go out and just kind of capture around a little bit here. So we'll take a look at that in a sec. And by the way, I just wanted to let you all know, I do actually have 4 Company of Heroes stuff specifically. I have an official HarlequinCasts Company of Heroes thread up on the GameReplays.org Company of Heroes section. So if you want to drop by and say hello and bump the thread and just kind of check things out, or if you want to talk about Company of Heroes games, swing by my thread there. It'll be in the description of these videos, any of the Company of Heroes ones, or it'll also be on the left-hand side of my channel. So if Company of Heroes is your thing, check that out. I also have my Dawn of War discussion up in the Dawn of War section, and in general, I have discussion threads up everywhere. So look for me wherever around. But I do read all of those regularly. If you want to drop by, say hello, talk about some replays and all that sort of fun stuff here. So let's take a look around the map now. What we saw at the beginning here was just kind of a standard strategy here, and I apologize if this is really boring seeing the map, but it's the best way to get appreciation for that. But in particular, at the beginning of this replay, I want to focus on some of the key areas. In particular, this is a key area. This and like really these two on the left-hand side here for the southern player are very key. These are two very key middle positions, and this one up here is very key to the northern player. And a lot of times early game, you'll see people just kind of rush out and attack these positions just to kind of weaken their opponent's control over stuff. And this just brings joy to my heart. I love seeing players do stuff like this. What BartonPL is doing here is he is setting up his barbed wire prior to capping anything in this region in order to deny green cover to anybody who would stand on the opposite side of these. Obviously, you get heavy green cover from standing behind haystacks for whatever freaking reason. I still don't really understand that. But as a result, by doing this, he simply denies them the cover, meaning if somebody does press in and start attacking him while he's in the middle of capturing, he can stand behind this. It's one directional cover now. It's just a beautiful little touch to add to that. So that's pretty cool. Meanwhile, however, we will see a very aggressive capping style going on right now for KoreanArmy. Taking a look around, we see, I just want to keep track of BartonPL's machine gun team, which is kind of moving out here on the right-hand side now. And then I'm going to swap on over to KoreanArmy's side. You can see he already has double engineers out. And he's going along with 2 rifleman squads. So this is clearly going to be like a 4 rifleman kind of opening. You can see he's capping up the fuel on the left-hand side. He's got this juicy munitions point, which should by all rights normally belong to BartonPL. And just take a look at what he's stumbling across. So he gets to the center of the map right now, and he sees that BartonPL has a bit of an edifice complex, if you will, a need to create and build things going on here. You can see some artistry with all of this stuff, but you can see he's actually getting kind of clever. He's just going to go ahead and keep laying barbed wire, and it looks like KoreanArmy kind of missed his opportunity maybe to get in there. Well, there's a little bit of a gap still out there. But what BartonPL is doing, once again, just being clever with barbed wire. Again, barbed wire is free. It just takes time to set up. And lo and behold, he's locked out now. You'll see he's joined up the barbed wire perfectly with this northern fence here and this fence over there. And this position is now very hard to attack from the north or from either side. However, he does have his engineers moving up to cut it, but you can see BartonPL was focusing the engineers down. They took 2 casualties while trying to do that, and now they just kind of have their flamethrowers on 1 guy. It looks like the riflemen are going to be able to get through here anyways, but you can see these guys are trying to pad their way around, just kind of not working out. Maybe actually they're just taking yellow cover behind this here. But this central position is normally very, very open. There's a lot of cover for people to shoot into you, but there's typically, especially late game, not a lot of cover here at all. So on the right-hand side now, we can see that first machine gun team setting up for BartonPL, and pretty much we're just going to see the 4 riflemen opening kind of in all of its glory right now from KoreanArmy here. So the interesting thing about this game in particular that I love is that we get to see 2 very different styles of play kind of clash head-to-head. They're almost contradictory styles of play. We get to see... And this is a little bit of a spoiler alert, but not too much. We get to see KoreanArmy basically play with a very, very aggressive allied opening here. Now we can see here comes a beautiful looking flank. He looks like he's being a little bit indecisive about this here. You can see he's managed to kind of foil this defensive structure here, and he is actually taking heavy green cover there, but now he is being suppressed. You can see he's thinking about coming around here for a flank. However, he's probably noticed that we've got the heavy machine gun teams covering each other, focusing in both directions, and that is just kind of impervious to attack. But what I was going to say is we have very aggressive early rifleman play by the American player versus very defensive map control-oriented German play. And this is one of my favorite sort of matchups to watch here. It makes for very interesting chess-like play. You've got one player with defended positions, another player and the challenges on him to attack appropriately and things like that. Makes for really clever dynamic games, and already you can see that that's the kind of player that BartonPL is, and that's the kind of player that KoreanArmy is. So just on paper, it's going to be good. Not to mention the fact that they're also both really highly ranked. So easy for me to get excited about this. So looking around right now, we can see just kind of passive-aggressive capping going on here. Again, KoreanArmy has had just so much control over BartonPL's territory so far in this game. And we can see it looks like continuing with his aggression here, KoreanArmy is actually just going to go ahead and get the Browning automatic rifles first. So he's got 4 very strong riflemen coming out towards the middle, and now he's got to deal with just kind of the defensive positioning here. You can see again dropping some sandbags to give cover for the various units he has around there. And where did they just take casualties? It looked like a bunch of engineers actually just died. Yeah, he actually just lost his engineer squad that was up here. One of his flamethrower engineers was just taken out. I guess they were in here trying to burn away at some of the gentlemen in the center. That's unfortunate. He did lose a squad early there, although it was kind of hard for me to see exactly when and where that happened. We can see that these riflemen over here on the right-hand side right now just kind of playing the passive-aggressive war. Honestly, these guys are doing plenty just by distracting right now. You can see it's giving these riflemen here in the center lots of time to have some nice intimate time here, capping all of these points. And on the left-hand side, again, another rifleman squad moving out and capturing away here. And that gives center control right now to KoreanArmy. And the score right now is finally just going to stabilize here. He had actually bled all the way down to 412 points just by BartonPL capturing what he did. But now we'll just take a look around and see exactly what's happening. I'm going to switch on back, I think. And yeah, look at that. He actually went and bought a second engineer squad. I'm going to go ahead and swap back to BartonPL's point of view. So note the color change on the minimap once again. We'll see he does have, it looks like he does have 1 flamethrower pioneer. He's got double machine guns out on the field right now and 3 Volk squads. So that's actually very aggressive here. He's going for double machine guns and triple infantry. He really wants to be able to counter heavy early game infantry. He knows the Browning automatic rifles are out there. That's a great choice. It's going to give him lots of suppression power. The problem is now he needs to get into this fortress here. Luckily, this is again, he's you know, taking good advantage here of the unidirectional cover and the unidirectional, you know, defenses. And as a result, he should have no problems getting in here as soon as he gets rid of these troops. And get rid of those troops he shall, as they are all sent back home retreating. Again, I just love the position of these machine guns. For the most part, this tends to get ignored, although I'm sure we'll see a lot of ninja capping going on down there. If it hasn't already, I think, yeah, it definitely has. I believe these gentlemen here perhaps took care of that. We do have these riflemen that we just saw them over here grabbing the fuel. Again, very, very dangerous position for the southern player to lose control over this munitions point. It's just a very annoying thing, but you can see kind of the way he's walled himself off here. He may just be letting go of it. Maybe he doesn't even ever want to take control of that, or at least not initially. Again, this heavy machine gun team, these MG42 gentlemen doing a great job just kind of holding back this territory. Again, completely sealing off this territory is fantastic because it means you have to attack down this road or down through the center here. I love what I'm seeing here, though. Check this out. So again, with the very aggressive rifleman play, we've got a medic station in play. And also notice just some mines out there by Korean Army. Very, very clever. We now have a bunker up, and we've got medic station going up as well. And we see For the Fatherland up. So absolutely we are dealing with a defensive player here. In fact, you can even see the little defensive logo there. Thank you once again to Aramon KG for pointing that out to me. It's super helpful. Anyhow, we got some defensive mines kind of going all around the place, and I still just hear lots of kind of firing going on the outskirts. You can see MG42 hanging out here in this building, firing across at some riflemen who are hanging out, and that sort of thing. Again, lots of just kind of situational fire, and notice no victory points capped. These guys have been decapping each other's points, but not really recapping them yet, instead opting for early game aggression here. Unfortunately, again, pinned down here by the MG42. Looks like the MG42 is getting nicely flanked. Beautiful flank, actually, by Korean Army. If you can fool the commentator, you can certainly fool the player. He made it all the way around and got a beautiful flank, forcing that MG42 out of cover.